Hey everybody, welcome to today's video on the Jedi Circle series. You're starting with self-honesty. Self-honesty is just the bedrock, it's the core. It's where we start. The Jedi path starts with the self, and you can't start with the self if you can't be honest, right? If you cannot be honest with yourself, you're not going to get any real self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is not going to lead to any real self-discipline. It's all going to be building on quicksand. It's just not going to work. So you have to be willing to be honest with yourself. When I first started in the Jedi path, I was not willing to be honest with myself. I wanted to just automatically be this thing, and I felt Jedi were these very stoic, these very indifferent, monotone, wisdom-speaking individuals, and I sought to just be that, right? I sought to be the goat on the mountaintop, spouting that fortune cookie wisdom. But if you want to be at the top of the mountain, you gotta walk the path to get there. You gotta climb the rocks to get there, because that experience leads you there. That's what's gonna get you there. If you just try to emulate it, it's gonna ring empty, it's gonna ring hollow, and that's fortune cookie wisdom. It's not just pithy sayings that don't really amount to anything. It's also the fact that it rings hollow because it's talking a good game. Yeah, it's talking a good game. Yeah, that sounds very Jedi, but obviously you've never really lived the path. You've never really had to be elbow deep in it and find the Jedi way through that muck. And that's the tough part. And that all begins with self-honesty, because self-honesty, you gotta admit to yourself the times you went wrong, and you gotta admit to yourself, and this is the important one. I know a lot of you out there are gonna resonate with this, because you have to admit when you're accepting responsibility for things that are not your fault. There are times that things go poorly. And there are times that we accept responsibility, whether that's a failed relationship, whether that's a car accident, whether that's something, a job opportunity that didn't happen, whatever, something that happened in the past. There was something that happened, and you accept full responsibility for it when it's not your responsibility to burden, right? It is not for you to carry that. Now there's, again, self-honesty. Yeah, you got weaknesses, you have strengths. You have to know these. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to dig into them. You have to consider, is this really a weakness? Is this really a strength? Maybe it can be both. How does that play into the path? You really have to dig into it. Self-honesty, this is about getting into it. This is about getting elbow deep into your own muck and finding yourself and digging through yourself and just seeing where you can, what you have to work with. What tools do you have to work with? Where do you need polishing? Where are you pretty good? And where do you really need work? Where are the problem areas? You have to be honest with yourself. If you're gonna start the path, if you're gonna start the journey, if you're gonna be a Jedi, if you're gonna be a Jedi Knight or leader or counselor or whatever, you have to have that self-honesty. Do you have the time for this? Honestly, do you have the time for this? Not, oh, I have the time for this, but I'm gonna play 4 hours of video games and not actually do Jedi stuff. No. Well, I was playing a Jedi game. I was playing Knights of the Old Republic. Doesn't that count? No. Yeah, there's a time for relaxing and self-care and enjoyment and Star Wars and all that. There's time for that. But if you're just not willing to put in the time and effort, if you just want to play games, you have to acknowledge that. You have to be honest with yourself. That I'm working, I'm coming home, I'm playing games, that's what I want to do. That's what helps me. That's my life, and I don't mind it. I like that. Cool. No problem. Nothing wrong with that. That's your life to live. That's great. You just have to be honest with yourself. It's not the Jedi life, right? You have to be honest there too. It's not Jedi life, but that is your choice, and that is something that's completely valid, but it's just not Jedi way. You have to be honest with it. Sometimes your life is crazy right now, and right now you might want to read this book, or you might want to do this Jedi program, or you might want to do this community service thing, but you just don't have the time. You just don't. It's not there for you. You do need your time, right? You do need that mental health time, that spiritual time for you. So you can't put everything in. You won't always have time for everything. Time management is important. So you have to be honest about these things. You have to be honest with where you're at, what's going on in your life, the areas you're good, the areas you need work. Self-honesty. It is all there. It is all the bedrock. Dig into it, Jedi. Just dig into it. Start digging into it. It's you got the meditation. You already got the tools. You got all these videos that we have on our channel and other channels that exist. So you have tools to help you out through this process. You aren't alone, but you want to be a Jedi. All starts with self-honesty. Thank you for watching. You know where the buttons are. You can like, dislike, subscribe, unsubscribe, block, ban, whatever makes you happy. May the Force